Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel. I am back with not a croaky voice. Yay. um, so here I am with and I've got most of my hearing back, which is good. This is happy days. So we're here for I've got question period. I've got a couple of fun videos to watch. We've got a bunch of things to talk about because as I recorded over the weekend, there was a lot of protesting going on. There was protests in Montreal and in Toronto. I covered the stuff in Montreal already on the video I did on Saturday, but there was more in Toronto at a very Jewish neighborhood, Bathurst and Shepherd, but we'll get into that later. Hello, Cannibalistic Wizard. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. And I'm just glad that I'm back with a full actual voice. And that I can take actual full breaths. This is very happy for me. I'm very glad. I really don't ever want to have pneumonia ever again. That was not fun. Nor was the allergic reaction to the antibiotics, and I'm still not sure which antibiotic it was that I had the allergic reaction to. Because I at one point was on 3 at the same time, so I have no idea which one it was. So, yeah, there's that. So, but we're back, we're here, we're finished with the steroids that I needed to take to get rid of the reaction to the antibiotics, and I still have a couple more days of eardrops left, but like I said, my hearing is almost back to normal, and it's getting better. I'm very happy. I can wear both my earbuds again. It's quite a good feeling to be able to hear everything all at once at the same time. So yeah, I'm glad, and I'm happy that I can also play MK again, because that was getting sad. I was getting very, very sad about not being able to hear what I was doing properly. So I'm just a happy press. Happy press all the way around. So let's see here. We're gonna break things up a little bit. I have a lot of political stuff to go over, but we're also gonna watch a couple of funny things. So we're gonna break it up. We're gonna start with a Bearing video because Bearing discovered the My Husband's Not Gay show, and I want to hear how he reacts to that, because I've watched Chris the James react to it private, like offline with Pincalo, and I want to see how Bearing reacts to it, and I want to see if he brings Sugar Tits in, because I have a feeling that watching Bearing and Sugar Tits react to but can you hear why children love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Dude, I love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is awesome. It's like the best cereal ever. Even better than Lucky Charms, I would say. I dare to blaspheme and say that Cinnamon Toast Crunch is even better than Lucky Charms. And I love Lucky Charms. Like, I'll say that right away. I love Lucky Charms, but I still think Cinnamon Toast Crunch is better, because I just like cinnamon and cinnamon toast. Cinnamon toast reminds me of being at my grandma's house. And grandma always made the best cinnamon toast, because she always had French bread, and she would toast the French bread till it was just crunchy. like not till it was like crunchy but not burnt. And then she would make a big plate of toast. There would be different toasts. There would be cinnamon toast, peanut butter toast, and toast and jam. And she would make just a giant plate of toast. And it was so awesome. It was awesome. And now I love Raisin Bran too. Raisin Bran is also good. I don't know what it is about Raisin Bran, but I love it. My little guy also loves it, my youngest. It's really funny. He hates, like, you cannot get this child to eat vegetables. You cannot get this child to eat fruit. And you're like, here, have a grape. I don't like grapes. Well, you like Raisin Bran? Yeah. Well, what's a raisin? I don't know. It's a sun-dried grape. What? Yeah, eat a grape. No, I don't like grapes. Oh my God. And the thing is, I fed this child fruit when he was a baby and he would eat it. And now he's just like, no, I don't like fruit. It's very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. So, like I said, I would like to hear and see how Bearing and Sugar Tits reacts to My Husband's Not Gay. Because when you see a bunch of Mormons talking about a same-sex attraction, but like they're still married to their wives, it's weird. It's weird. And I want to see how the Australian guy looks at it.
My Husband's Not Gay is a TLC show from like 9 years ago. It's just popped up now because I've seen like a couple of people talk about it.
If you have to even say that, I reckon there's a good probability that he's gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think? Well done, Sugar Tits.
And cue Seinfeld clip.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, of course not.
But this show is about a group of Mormons and they live in Salt Lake City in America, and apparently that's like a Mormon stronghold. And Mormons, as it turns out, don't approve of the gays.
Or divorce?
Yeah, they've got a lot of strict rules.
They do not approve of the gay or the divorce. I knew a guy who hated raisins but loved grapes. See, I like both. I love raisins and I love grapes.
Ooh, so how does that apply? You just locked into this marriage where the man is gay and he just thinks of dudes' cocks all the time.
Well, they've come up with a way around it. They treat it like a condition. They've even got a name for it. It's called SSA.
Yes, SSA. Oh my God, I love this. I love how he's explaining this.
Same-sex attraction.
Okay.
So they're not gay, they're just same-sex attracted. Which is kind of sad because they kind of treat it like it's an affliction.
Yeah.
But I reckon the funniest part about this show is the wives.
So they've come out to their wives. Their wives know that they're gay.
Yeah.
Same-sex attracted.
Same-sex attracted,
Yeah,
but
gay, same-sex attracted, whatever. The wives know, yes.
they're not allowed to indulge at all.
No.
No. They can look, they can talk about their feelings, they can perv, they can discuss their gayness with their other gay friends. Because there's like a group, it's like a support group. Anyway, let's watch.
This is gonna be great. Oh my God. Having foreknowledge of what this is, I'm loving watching this.
I don't feel like I fit the mold of guys that are attracted to other men. Other
Why? Because you have a beard, meaning a wife?
than my deep and abiding love for Broadway show tunes and the attraction
I
to
hate
males.
mushy grapes. I like my grapes firm. Yeah.
Those
I'm
are the two
same way.
things that are kind of gay about me.
They're like the two main things, I think.
Yeah, the two main things. Other than my deep and abiding love for cock.
Yeah, so as I understand it, this is like a new guy to the group. So he's a single guy and he's like trying to get into this SSA support group.
When I'm out with the guys, yeah, we'll look at other guys, for sure.
What's the danger score?
What's the danger score? Oh God, I forgot about the danger score.
The danger scale is a way to bring out some of the inner feelings and figure out, oh, okay, that is attractive to me, and I didn't even realize it.
The danger scale goes from 0 to 4. A 1 on the danger scale is you notice, you look.
Okay, a 1 is a quick perv, a quick.
Oh my god, that guy sounds so gay. Well, the danger scale goes from 0 to 4.
Glance. I wonder what a 2 is.
2 is getting a semi.
A 2 means you looked again.
A 3, you'd be tempted to turn around and look again and again.
Oh.
4 pretty much means you're requiring restraints.
That escalated really quickly, didn't it?
It did. 1 is 2 is 3 is I'm gonna turn around and just stare at him like a stalker, and 4 is I have to do everything in my power not to go and rape that dude.
From 3 to 4.
So, like, it's just like looking again, looking a few times to, I want to fucking rape this man.
I want to grape you. I got a boner.
Very good.
Maybe they shouldn't be playing topless basketball.
Well, the wives are there. We haven't seen them yet, but the wives are on guard.
So what, they chaperone everything? Like, they just have to constantly 24/7 keep an eye on them.
Oh,
Like,
could you imagine being a wife of a guy who's like, I'm gay, but being like Mormon and not like being okay with that, and just I just don't understand this whole this is why organized religion doesn't make sense to me. Just do what you need to do.
to stop them from putting their dicks in other men's anuses.
2.5.
Really? I'd go higher than that.
That's some danger.
That's some danger. Feel
That's
my danger
danger.
scale right now.
That's why the basketball's been fun.
Oh my god, I think I'm going from a 3 to a 4 on the danger scale.
Super gay, super
Okay,
gay.
I'm gonna need you to restrain me real hard right now.
Let's restrain each other's danger scales.
Some water.
Thank you.
Being
Here's
friends
some
with
water. Here, let me get you some water to stop with the dangerousness.
other guys that deal with same-sex attraction, it's really been helpful.
Somebody cares about you, Tom.
See how the wives are like between them all?
Oh my god, they really are.
They're like, time out. Okay, they've got a
Separate.
spare moment. They've got idle hands. Quick, get between the cocks and the assholes.
Yeah, they're like, quick. They're talking about the danger scale again. Get in there. Stop that.
Separate them quickly. There's a danger scale on the 4. Where's my wife?
They're kind of in a place that I want to be. I want to meet a girl.
Right, so we're to believe that this is the new guy to the group, as I said, and he's looking for a wife, so they're reaching out to
I
their
want to
Mormon
meet
sort
a
of community.
girl so that she can be my beard, so that I can be gay. But it'll still be all right because I'm Mormon and I'm married to a woman.
Wait, he hasn't got a wife yet?
He hasn't got a wife. He's just flat out saying, yeah, I'm a gay guy, but I want to have a wife anyway.
Oh, turn around, dude. There's still time.
Well,
Right?
he wants to have kids, I guess, and he wants to have like a normal sort of suburban Mormon life. So, I mean, that's the only way you can
But
do it,
dude,
really.
if you're gay, you're gay. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. If you're gay and you're Mormon, like, what is your option?
That's what he's thinking. So, he's SSA. He's not a gay.
They're kind of in a place that I want to be. I want to meet a
wanna
girl
be
and like
stuck?
her and say, by the way, I'm attracted to guys. And that's what my friends have done, and they've made it work.
I want to meet the girl of my dreams and tell her I like guys.
I want to meet the girl of my dreams who lets me share her wardrobe.
So now we cut to the cringe cafe scene. I don't have this whole episode. It's just like snippets where they've got like 2 of the SSA guys and their wives where they're at a cafe and an almost certainly gay waiter comes up and takes their order.
An almost certainly gay waiter. I remember this part. This is funny.
Hey, guys.
How are you guys?
I like how they cut to like fruit preserves. Is that like meant to be innuendo?
Jeff and I are meeting Brent and Megan for an early dinner tonight. And whenever we get together, you never know where those conversations may go.
This wife
You
here is the
never
most
know
bitter,
where
I
that
think. You can
comes.
see it in her eyes.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my God, quit being such a fucking
You never know where those conversations may go.
I want to hear your French pronunciation on the menu.
Oh God, that guy is so gay. Holy crap. Oh my God, that guy, I didn't realize how gay he is.
I'll critique you.
I'm not doing that.
Do you know what
Tuna
you
melt.
want?
Gruyere.
Very good.
Thank you.
Le tuna niçoise.
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 Of course.
Hello.
Hello.
Look at the wives' faces.
I know.
Hello. Hello. Where's George when you need him?
They're like, fuck.
Oh, shit.
This is going to be the conversation for the rest of this lunch.
Yeah, because they know right now instantly that the danger level is hitting.
Yeah, it's a 4.
and
a
it's
4,
escalating
yup,
quick.
it's a
Yeah, and the
4.
thing is, it is the conversation for the rest of the lunch. All they talk about is how hot that guy is.
Really?
And how they've got, like, gay feelings for him.
Oh my god, I could. This is. This is so weird. This is so weird. I'm not the gay. I just suck dick.
Welcome to Boulangerie. Don't laugh. It's not that funny.
Yes, it is.
Can I?
Don't laugh. Oh my god. Don't laugh at boulangerie. Oh.
Get you all an appetizer to start?
You know, your hummus looked good. Your hummus plate.
It's excellent.
great.
It's
We'll try it.
excellent. Oh, it's to die for, honey. Don't you worry. Oh my god, they're both of them.
I really want to try your hummus.
I love to dip my finger in your hummus.
Danger! Danger!
Danger alert.
Look at this
And
bitch.
Sugar
She's
Tits' fucking American accent is terrifying. I'm sorry.
not happy.
Oh, the fake smile.
She's like, oh my god, my husband's making gay innuendo jokes with a clearly gay waiter. This is fantastic, fabulous.
Fuck my life.
We should do this more often.
Thanks.
So did you guys notice anything?
So did you guys notice anything? Oh my god. You're inviting this shit now. It makes you uncomfortable, but now you're like, so, what did you notice about that waiter?
He's a very good-looking guy. We have a very open relationship. And this
do
is
you?
just one more way we try to be open. And I found it's more freeing to just acknowledge.
See her body language? She was sitting there like grinding her teeth almost.
I know.
We've found that it's better for me if I just say what I'm feeling.
I found it's more freeing to just acknowledge, yeah, that is a beautiful man.
That is a beautiful man. Well, what about your wife? Well, hello. Oh my, aren't you a nice one? Give me the hummus, all the hummus. Oh.
That is a beautiful man.
That is-
Motherfucker,
oh.
just order your fucking soup and shut the fuck up.
Your tuna melt.
Yeah.
Your Niqua fucking salad. Stop thinking about dicks.
Oh, you know he got a moist on too when the waiter was speaking French.
Yeah.
I'd say you need a little more of the masculine butch. You need more of the all-American guy.
That's your type.
Well, yeah, sure.
You see, the two husbands are sitting there talking about what types of dudes they like.
Yeah.
And the wife is like, that's your type. Well, yeah. Guys, this is not something, like, you know how there are things that can be fixed? You can't fix being gay. You're not broken. You're just not meant to be together.
How is this fun for the chicks? And then there's a
Right?
camera crew there filming it for fucking TLC.
I love Ricky. I love that we just have so much in common.
Oh, wait till you see the parody of this. Some guy put out a parody.
Oh, of course there must be
And
one.
it's so fucking funny. I won't play it all, but I'll play a couple of snippets. And there'll be a link in the description, obviously. So now we get a bit of an insight between that main couple at home, like their home life. And they're just in the kitchen. We see them interacting. We get a sense of their relationship.
Do they have kids?
I don't know. I would assume so. Because that's the whole purpose.
Yeah.
To, like, get married and be like a good Mormon family.
I'm just imagining when the moment comes where they have to have sex.
Yeah. Like, cause don't these people have kids? How did they get past that?
Those kids. Like, how does that work? You know, like in Scary Movie, does he get her to dress up as a football player, like wear a helmet and padding and everything?
No.
I think me and the guys are gonna go camping in a few weeks.
Warning.
I don't think
Danger.
so.
Yeah.
Danger.
Do you think that's a good idea, honey?
Camping?
Whoa!
Oh, she does
Camping?
not like that. She's camping? Really?
So skeptical.
Are you serious, Steve, or whatever your name is? Camping. You want to go camping with the guys?
Unchaperoned.
Look at
Yeah,
her
you
face.
want to go camping with the guys without us? Oh, I don't think so. And I'm not going camping. She pegs him and uses a turkey baster on herself.
Face.
What's that look?
It's the look of a wife that thinks you're going to be f***ed in the
What's that look? Yeah.
Who's going?
Who's going? Who's all going to this camping trip? She is pissed. She is not okay with this.
A couple guys you don't know.
Oh, a couple of guys you don't know. I missed that part.
How well do you know these guys?
Well, I'm going to get to know them pretty well, honey.
When my husband goes on these overnight trips, I've been concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should
Yeah,
be.
yeah, you should be.
Come on, this is just a farce. Like, this is unfair to both of them.
It is. I don't understand how TLC, like, degenerated so far to this. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to go off and be gay on his gay camping trip. Let him. Go be gay. It's fine. And she's like, I just want a fucking husband that's not gay.
I'm really
That's
concerned when
fine
you take...
with her. Like, if she wants a husband that's not gay, that's awesome. She should go get one. But that's obviously not him.
these unchaperoned trips with his male friends.
He always seems to come back with a limp. Does he trip up in the bush or something?
Just because anything can happen.
Yeah. And I think one thing in particular is going to happen. Watch this. This wife's paranoia hasn't just come from nowhere, right? She's had experience with this stuff. She's got a bitter taste in her mouth.
Do you remember the incident that happened at the house a couple years ago?
Look at his coy nod. Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I remember. I remember the incident.
It was hot. It was super hot.
There was one time a couple of guys slept over at my house. And let's just say things got a little out of control.
Things got out of
To your
control.
wife, honey, I
did
just
they?
want to have a couple of the fellas sleep over.
Yeah, and what happened? Like, did she wake up at 3 o'clock and go, oh, what's that bumping coming from downstairs?
Right?
Is there like a fucking dead raccoon? I can hear some like moaning coming from outside.
Could you imagine like what actually happened at that quote incident? Like, my God.
What's going on? Is someone robbing our back shed?
How did this work too? Is like when your kid has, you know, a couple of friends over, they stay in the basement, you know, like, did you not get a little suspicious when he decided to sleep downstairs with them?
Right.
Let him in the bed with you.
Yeah. Honey, me and the guys are going to stay in the basement.
We're gonna have a slumber party in the basement. Like, no.
Stay up late and watch Predator.
We're going to be watching scary movies, so if you hear screaming, don't worry. So this next bit is the mystery chick. This is the chick they've set that dude up with. So she's like a Mormon chick who's looking for a husband,
Oh,
and they've done an
God.
introduction.
This
They've
poor
gone, oh, we
girl.
think we've got the perfect man for you. Why don't you come around and have a dinner party?
So she must be aware.
No, she's not aware. It's like, come and have this dinner party with our friends group. But what she doesn't know is they're a group of friends that know each other because they're in this same-sex attraction group.
Oh, that's wrong.
And it comes up, she goes, how do you all know each other? Anyway, let's watch.
Oh, this is gonna get awkward.
We didn't want Emily to have any preconceived notions about Tom before the date. So we told her that the cameras were
They
here to
watched
film a
Human Centipede and
documentary about
recreated
Mormons
it.
in
Oh,
Salt Lake City.
Jesus.
How long do they think they're going to be able to hide this from her?
Well, he comes clean, but the hijinks, I never know what that word is, are fucking hilarious. What we see in the meantime is just comedy gold. They absolutely fuck this guy over.
Things are going well, so if we could just put off any SSA conversation for as long as humanly possible, that would be great.
So how do you guys all know each other?
If we could put off any of the SSA conversations, that would be great. So how do you guys all know each other? Church.
Oh.
They didn't come up with a backstory. He's just
Say
like,
church.
fuck. We've got like a outdoor adventure camping club,
Yeah.
wrestling team, basketball
Yeah,
crew.
you're gonna be naked.
Now, the guy who they're trying to set up sort of has this panicked reaction and just changes the subject by saying, I like dogs. Watch this.
I love dogs.
What the fuck? He actually said, I like dogs.
By saying, I like dogs. Watch this.
I love dogs.
I love dogs too.
Did you grow up with dogs?
Kind of, yeah.
What kind?
A wiener dog.
How did I miss that the first time I watched this? Oh my god. Holy shit. She did not just say that.
Kind of, yeah.
What kind?
A wiener dog.
That chick
But
is
that's
just
not
giggling.
all. Watch what this does.
That's the kind of dog you should get, Tom.
Oh my god.
Oh, that is just TLC fucking brilliance. So anyway, the dinner party happens and they call it a night and he's like walking this chick to her car and he comes clean. He does the right thing.
I don't know how to tell you this.
Okay.
I deal with something called same-sex attraction.
I deal with... Dude, it's not a fucking mental health disorder. You're gay. Alright? You're gay. Just deal with that. Deal with the fact that... Oh! Well, let's go check this out. Somebody wishes me to exercise. The problem with post... The problem with coital chat is reminding my assistant that I'm actually a good vet and continuing the autopsy. Good one. So, let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because of the exchange rate. Oh! It's for... Aw, thank you, Fury. I didn't see that. Thank you, Fury. And thank you for the other... thank you for the donation. Let's see here.
I'm attracted to men.
Didn't it sound a lot more serious than it needed to be?
Yeah, mainly because of the editing. Doom.
Yeah, but like it shouldn't be that
He
big a
likes a
thing.
hot dog
It's just
in the
like a
tailpipe.
weird position to find yourself in. You've just been asked on this blind date, presumably, and the guy sort of walks you to your car at the end and goes, "Oh, we need to have a serious conversation.
We need to have a chat. I'm actually gay."
Attracted to men." You'd be like, "What the fuck?"
When Tom did open up to me about the SSA, I immediately thought, wow, this is something really brave of him to do.
No, you didn't. No, the fuck you did not think that. Nobody believes you. Sorry, nobody believes you about that nonsense.
Makes you want to continue on in the way you've chosen.
It's just what I've always wanted the most. You know what I mean?
What is it that you want the most? On in the way you've chosen.
It's just what I've always wanted the most. You know what I mean?
What was that? I just heard something. I just heard another thingy. What was that? Oh, thank you for the subscribe, Brent. Thank you very much.
I mean,
What is it that you want the most?
to be married, have a wife, have kids, have a family.
See, he's got like innocent intentions.
He does.
I kind of feel sorry for him because he wants to be a good Mormon or whatever. He wants to have a family and a wife and kids and a picket fence and all that shit.
Yeah.
I get that, but
You can have all of that. Just with a husband. You can adopt. Brave. My brave, my arse. No, it isn't. It's probably his.
But he's gay.
Yeah.
And like, what's she supposed to do? Is she meant to go like, yeah, I'll sign on for that? It's kind of like
No,
a really
she's not.
awkward situation.
It's also very sad.
Anyway,
It
here's
is.
some snippets of that parody.
I caught him on Grindr the other day.
Well, you didn't catch me because this is what I do to help convert people to bring them to God.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God, yes.
Is that Grindr?
Yes, it's to find people who are sinning so I can flipping save them.
Oh, this is amazing. This parody is great.
What is that?
This is my sleep mask. I'm ready for you. We're gonna make love now.
That's not sleep mask.
Honey, hurry. I'm gonna finish.
Never. That's you.
His
I'm gonna
first-
finish.
His their first thought was he's gonna want to do butt stuff.
Hurry up. Come here.
Even you're not looking. You're looking at something else. Clearly.
This is how we're going to conceive our children.
Yeah, so anyway, that was My Husband's Not Gay by TLC. I thought it was
That was
wild. I want to see
hilarious.
the full episode, but I can't find it. So thanks for watching. If you have any comments, leave them down below or at my Twitter. It's @bear_ing. Visit Sugartit.
That was too funny. That was too funny. I enjoyed watching Bearing and and Sugar Tits react to that. That was too funny. It was just too hilarious. So over the weekend in Montreal and in Toronto, there were some crazy protests, and I covered the ones in Montreal on Saturday, but on Saturday there were protests going on in Toronto. And happy birthday to you, Fury Kitten. I saw your message. Happy birthday. He's got gay porn going. Yeah. That's hilarious in the parody. So Ezra Levant is the CEO of Rebel News, and I'm not by any stretch of the imagination a fan of Rebel News. I find them to be very, like, as close to right wing as you can get in Canada. But he was filming the protests that were going on in Toronto. And I have the clip from Rebel News. It's 7 minutes. This is the clip of Ezra Levant interacting with the police and filming the protests. And we're going to go over what's going on here. And then we're going to talk about whether or not he's got the right to sue the Toronto police, because that's what he's planning on doing. So this is, like I said, I'm going to look at this as unbiased as I can, because like I said, I'm not a fan of Rebel News, but I'm also not a fan of what happened here, because I've seen some of the video of this. So let's take a look.
Stay back. You set the rules. Instead of the rules, you shot up right. You're not asking the
Did your wife get her PR? Did your wife get her PR? I think you have. I think you have. I haven't recently. His wife got the PR.
This is my
Is that in him or her? If he's falling for his wife's PR, did she get it?
You should all be deported.
Nice.
She's deported?
Yeah, you should all be deported.
No, is your wife deported?
I know. I don't want to arrest.
So I can't tell if he's actually interacting. It sounds like he's interacting with the protesters.
I don't have to monitor that shit. No, I want to film. I want to film the astonishing thing you're permitting on our city streets. There are Holocaust survivors here. Look back to the media. Canada is a media area, sir.
How is he terrorizing a peaceful protest? He's just Not a fan of Ezra. He gets so much hate. He's the Canadian Tommy Robinson. He kind of is.
Right now, it's not safe because you don't uphold the law. So you do this.
Get him out. That's what they're saying. Get him out. So they want the police to get him out.
He's an immigration lawyer.
Forget them. Okay.
You know that, right?
So if I'm not happy that you're here, if I bring a gang,
Watch out! Watch where you're going, bud. Watch where you're going. What are you doing? Watch where you're going. Hey!
Get them out! Get them out! No, you were working for these organizations.
Okay, so he is interacting with somebody here, but he's still not, like, he's not yelling or anything. He's filming, he's interacting, but he's not, like, it sounds like he's just trying to talk.
This is your media area. Okay? You're a disgrace. I know you're a disgrace. I think you're a coward also. I know you're a I think you're a coward also. You can have your opinion. You'll do what they say. Stand over here.
Okay, so
He
he's
started out where he was standing there with them and arguing with one of the police, with one of the constables.
Okay.
Okay. This entire time, now he's standing in front of the one and he's trying to get clarification. Keep going.
The least resistance.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep the peace. No, you're not. If you were trying to keep the peace, anybody wants to get out of your thugs.
This is him
You
interacting.
want to do in their bidding. Just stand over here, okay? I don't have
Do you want me to pause it real quick?
Canada is my state, so, sir, I understand that, okay?
Okay.
But you're violating your presence in that group. That was inciting the potential for violence. I haven't incited anything. They have. Your presence alone. And you have obeyed them. So, again, here's where I want you to stand, okay? I know you want me to stand here, but you're not the law. I am the law. No, you're not the law, sir. You're a servant of the law. You're not the law. Now, if you want to interview anybody, they know they can come and talk to you. I'm not interested in interviewing them. All right, well, then video.
So he's saying I'm
He's trying to interview. They don't want to be interviewed.
What a coward you are. Run away, you little coward.
So this is him just walking. So he's around the front of the barricades now.
Okay.
And he's still walking back.
Grace, you're Jewish,
to his fucking jeep.
So I said to you before, you're allowed to be here last week.
You had a designated area to stay in, and you agreed to stay in it.
I did not. What are you talking about?
Well, absolutely. Acting Inspector Ford told me they had a media area for you, and you guys stayed in it, and they came back.
We did not. Well, because it's not up to him to say you have free speech there, but not here.
Well, yeah, because you're inciting this crowd, and it reaches the peace. Well, your presence is inciting them, and that's exactly what you're trying to do.
Because I'm a Jew.
No, because you're trying to incite them.
I haven't tried to.
And now he's saying you're doing this because I'm
hate crime that
You
you're
could have done it on
abiding.
the other side. You didn't need to walk over.
No, I wanted to go out. I don't.
Now I'm going to tell you to move over there, and if you don't
I
press
allowed you to take that video. I allowed you to take that.
Yeah. So you're refusing to leave?
I'm refusing to leave.
Why?
Because I'm a Jew, I'm a citizen, and I'm your boss.
And he's saying, and that's where he says, I'm refusing to leave. I'm a citizen and I'm your boss.
Yeah.
Which,
Don't say that shit.
don't, yeah.
It's annoying. I hate when people say that. Ezra, shut up.
Yeah. That doesn't help.
Well, you know what? In the interest of keeping peace here and public safety, you're under arrest for breach of the peace. Take a minute.
Good.
Oh, another cheer. Yeah.
Take this. I'm being arrested because I'm standing on the sidewalk in my city. I'm a Jew who lives in this neighborhood, and I'm being arrested because the police say that's the path of least resistance. This thing got to go over in Ohio.
So then they got the cops that are working.
Up off his meat.
It's a sad Palestinian flags on Canadian soil. Go away.
Oh, they're not. Now they're going, no, 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 no.
Yeah, that's what they always do because they're all losers. And if you look at them, a lot of them are white, the ones that are doing it. hilarious to see watermelon.
Oh, and now the audio got all fucked up.
Yeah, well, that's halfway through the video.
But yeah, that's just.
But like I said, I want to know why they're allowing watermelons to be warning products.
That's a good question. But what do you think? Do you think he has the right to sue?
Yeah, I actually said that already. He deserves recompense for this, because that is a situation where he should have been smarter about it.
Right.
But you can't say you're arrested for incitement, and then you can't just sit there and throw a whole bunch of shit at him. And then what they're doing is literally, the whole purpose of this is to get him out of there.
Mm-hmm.
He's free right now.
Yeah.
Okay, they let him out. So it's not like he's sitting in a fucking jail cell like Twitter is making it look like. I'm sorry, Twitter, but yeah, you're making it look like he's still sitting in jail as of like 10 minutes ago.
Right.
When he's not. The whole purpose of it is they arrested him so they could charge him formally, but they don't have charges to go on him that can actually stick. They can just say, I'm charging you with this. That's the difference. That's where people don't seem to understand. It's bullshit, but that's what they did to just get him out of there. And no, that shouldn't happen, but they have the right to protest. My problem is you shouldn't be allowed to protest foreign... You shouldn't be allowed to make international incidences.
No.
Which I believe that is what happens when you protest a war between two foreign countries that are not your nation. I'm sorry. If your nation is not... Well, I'm Palestinian. Okay? Then go to Palestine and protest. Go to Nazareth. What's it called? Go over to Israel and protest. Go to Egypt. Here's what you do. Ask Egypt. Why aren't they stopping anything? Ask Lebanon. You can't, because they suck. Need a new handle.
I do.
Donate for a new doorknob.
Yeah. No, seriously. Donate for a new doorknob, because my doorknob is falling off and I need to lock it. But yeah, Ezra is planning on suing. They can arrest and remove and then release without charge. Yeah, that's what they did. That's exactly what they did. Well, let's take a look at what happened with our illustrious parliament. We have a full question period here today with Pierre Poilievre, and I wonder if Justin Trudeau is here today. Apparently, Chrystia Freeland was here, and she made some sort of an economically illiterate speech. So we'll have to see.
Pat in the chat.
Hey, Pat. What's up, Pat? How you doing? So let's see what's going on in the question period in Parliament in Canada.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Ooh, I like this guy.
The protests, the violent protests in Montreal are the consequence of a Prime Minister who, for 9 years, has promoted woke, toxic, divisive identity politics that divides Canadians according to race, sex, vaccination status, etc. And along with dividing Canadians, he's erasing our history. He's allowing terrorists and criminals to come into our country. What's the result? 251 more hate crimes.
Damn.
When will he allow us to have an election so that we can fix what he has broken?
I like this translator. This is the good translator. You did a gaming stream over here earlier. I'm trying to figure out where I should be gaming, because right now I have to pick. I'm trying to get my view hours up for YouTube for monetization. But my Twitch is already monetized, but all the ad people are leaving Twitch. So it's like, where do I stream?
The Honourable Minister of National Defence.
Mr. Speaker, and let me be
Why are
very
you not
clear.
answering
what was
in
on
French,
display
Bill?
in Montreal just this past weekend was criminality. The violence, the hatred, and the anti-Semitism that took place in Montreal is completely unacceptable, and everyone in this House must condemn it in the strongest possible terms.
Oh, wow. Thank you for the donation again. Let's see. Kitten the knob fairy. Oh, thank you for the knob tip. He uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. He.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Why did
the
Bill
lawless
not
hate riot that we
answer
saw on the
French?
streets of Montreal is what happens after 9 years of a woke prime minister pushing radical woke identity politics, dividing people
Performance
by race,
issue alert.
vaccine status, religion, and more. On top of dividing, he erases our heroes and history, saying Canada has no core identity. He opened the borders to terrorists and lawbreakers. The results? Assassinations on Canadian soil, firebombings and terrorist attacks against places of worship.
I game on Twitch when I want to relax, YouTube when I want to rant. That makes sense. Oh, is this the translator that understands? Yes. Yes, this is the good
51%
translator.
more hate crime. It wasn't like this before this prime minister and won't be after he's gone. Why not an election so we can fix what he broke?
Yes!
The Honourable Minister of National Defence. Mr. Speaker, I personally believe that it is shameful that anyone would
it's
speak of
shameful,
the violence that
is
took
it?
place on our streets here in Canada in political terms for purely partisan political
Oh,
intention.
fuck you, Bill Blair.
Mr. Speaker, I believe it is all of our responsibility to stand up to such hatred and to condemn it in the strongest possible terms, unequivocally and on behalf of all decent Canadians.
All decent Canadians, eh? All decent Canadians. What does that mean? What does that mean, all decent Canadians?
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
After 9 years of this Prime Minister, he's doubled the cost of housing and increased the cost of food 37% more quickly in Canada than in the United States. And now he's trying to hide that. He's saying that, you know, you might save 10 cents on a bag of chips, or you might be able to save on Halloween costumes after Halloween's already over, Mr. Speaker. So what has the Bloc got for keeping this Prime Minister in power? Nothing. Nothing for seniors. The leader of the Bloc Québécois, he speaks a big game, but he doesn't play a big game. Why not a carbon tax election so we can get rid of taxes and help people save real money?
Because that would make sense.
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister
Oh,
of Finance.
Lord.
Mr. Speaker, today we can really wonder who talks a lot and who does a lot, because today every member of this House has...
I love how he's speaking, like, he's trying to speak in her inflection.
Don't worry about me, just adjusting.
Okay. I just love how he's trying to speak with her inflection as a like this
the right, the
translator's actually
obligation
good.
to help Canadians, Quebecers, with
Oh, by the way, it's inactive tab.
a bit of help.
Welcome to the new AI,
So
by
my
the way.
question
You're
is,
getting giant
will the
pop-up
Conservative members
You have
have
an
the
inactive
right
window.
to vote
Oh.
for
That's what your
their
performance
constituents?
issue is that you're getting pulled up.
The Honourable Leader of the Official Opposition.
After doubling housing costs and inflating food prices 37% faster in Canada than in the United States, with inflationary carbon taxes and deficit
See, when
spending.
tabs are inactive
Prime
at a glance,
Minister
you
now
can turn
has
off
a
this
tiny
new look in
2-month
settings
tax trick that will save you 10 cents on a pack
like
of
they fucking
chips,
did that to AI
save you a
for
few pennies
us
on a
to-
Christmas tree, but
They don't
only
force
after your
AI
Christmas
on
tree
my
is already
phone.
up and decorated. You'll even save on Halloween costumes 2 months after Halloween.
Sorry,
Does he
folks,
really
don't worry
expect
about me. I'm
Canadians
just
to fall for this tiny tax trick just
There, now you
before
can
he
see when she's
quadruples
jumping
the
back
carbon
again.
tax on heat,
Yes.
homes, gas, and groceries?
Jail time for making sense. Yep.
Mr. Speaker, I'm really glad the Leader of the Opposition started by comparing our economic position with the U.S.
Oh, I'm really glad. I'm really glad that the Leader of the Opposition compared us to the
Fact
US.
is, in Canada, inflation is lower. In Canada,
How?
interest rates are lower. In Canada,
How?
deficits are lower.
Where?
And in Canada, the public debt is lower.
Where? That just means that it what are you even talking about, lady? Is this the economic illiteracy that we're talking about?
Stop talking Canada down. And when it comes to supporting Canadians, what I want to know is, will Conservative MPs
Even this
be
guy's having
allowed
difficulty
to
with
offer
Christian.
a tax
Yep.
break to their constituents? I know their constituents want it. That's what we're hearing from everyone.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition. Mr. Speaker, this from a minister who, after finding out that the economy is entering its 6th consecutive quarter of shrinking per capita GDP, that's income per person down, while the American income per person is up. After she learned that there are 2 million people lined up at food banks, 38% more chronic homelessness, 1,400 homeless encampments in Ontario after 9 years of this government, she says we're not in a recession. We're in a vibe session, she says.
A vibe
So what's
session? She actually said we're in a vibe session? Oh my
her
god.
message to people who are hungry and homeless after 9 years of her government? They just need to get with the vibe.
Holy
Deputy
shit.
Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, my message to the Leader of the Conservatives is to be a little more economically literate.
Oh my god. Oh my god. She just told him to be more economically literate. Really? Oh my god.
You have that article, by the way, in your DMs.
I do?
And yeah, she hello my fellow kids. So her business cap.
It's not happening to her, so she doesn't care. Exactly. Exactly, Pat.
I guess he didn't look at the recent GDP revisions, the upward revisions in GDP that show a good result for Canada in per capita GDP.
No, he just said per capita GDP is shrinking, dork. Hello?
They also show that Canada has not had a recession, contrary to the predictions of many when we saw the COVID recession. We have had a soft landing. That's something to celebrate.
Then I had the honourable member for Belleuil-Chambly.
Hippie Freeland.
Mr.
Yep.
Speaker, allow me to remind you that the Bloc Québécois' useless measures, apparently, when it came to supply management and seniors, well, the young man who leads the Conservative Party, he voted in favour of those. However, when it comes to purchasing power in Quebec and Canada, there are measures that have been proposed, and there are measures that are going to be accessible to millionaires, and checks are going to be sent to people who, have high revenue, $150,000. Does the government not realize
Or
that it's
less.
abandoning those who really need help with these measures?
Well, no, they don't care. And it shouldn't have been $150,000 or less. It should have been $100,000 or less. Except for 2 years, Freeland has said the word recession hundreds of times. Ooh. Hello, anyone home? Right?
The Honorable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, I take the Bloc Québécois' concerns very seriously when it comes to our seniors, and I take them seriously because our government shares those concerns. That is why our government has supported seniors across Canada more than any other federal government.
Where and how?
This year, Canadian seniors will get $48 billion in support from the federal government.
$48 billion in support for seniors in a year. Where is all this money supposed to come from?
And that's fair, because they deserve it. The Honourable Member for Bellard-Chambly. Mr. Speaker, the calculation that you have to make is the one that people are making at home. Those who are between 65 and 74 years old in particular, whose purchasing power has not gotten any better for years now, and who are subject to discrimination, and who don't have access to the vote-buying checks coming from the Liberal government. But listen, I don't
even they're calling it vote-buying.
Understand how the Liberals supported the NDP to support them on this. I'd like to know how. The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to start by clarifying one detail, and that's that I know that there are many seniors who are still working, and those who work will get the checks. I also want to say that I think that we all understand that seniors who are 75 years old and older are more vulnerable. They need more assistance, and that is why our government knows...
that is why screw the seniors in that 9-year age gap between 65 and 74. Screw them all.
...to give them more support.
The Honourable Member from Burnaby South. You know what's cruel? The $250 check that's going out in spring, this Liberal government is excluding seniors, people living with disabilities, and people who
Wait, what? They're excluding disabled people? What if the disabled person paid taxes?
Including seniors, people living with disabilities, and people who just started working. What a slap in the face. Why is this Liberal government excluding the most vulnerable in our country?
For the Honourable Minister response, I was going to ask members, please, to not take the floor unless they're recognized, so that everyone can hear the question.
Yeah.
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to thank the NDP leader for his question, and I hope he and all members of this House will help work with us to unblock this Parliament and to get the support to Canadians that they need and deserve.
We don't need this stupid GST holiday or the $250 check that's not going to do anything. We need a freaking no carbon tax.
When it comes to the working Canadians rebate, we know that there are hardworking people across the country who have been through challenging times, and we know that now is the time to provide them with that extra support. I hope all MPs will join us in doing that.
Extra support. That extra $250 of support that will do nothing. I cannot get my head around Jagmeet. He seems to flip-flop more than a Mormon. What's it called? He seems to flip-flop more than a Mormon man. Oh my God. A Mormon menage a trois.
The Honourable Member for Burnaby South. Workers desperately need help, like seniors, persons with disabilities, and young people who've just got their first job. And yet this government is excluding them from the $250 payment.
It says $150,000 or less. What does that mean? Is there a cutoff at the less part?
is a slap in the face. Can the Liberals explain to the most vulnerable Canadians why they're not supporting them? The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I would like to thank the Leader of the NDP for his question. And I hope that he and all members of this House will...
I hate that patronizing bullshit. Thank you for the question. It's very, very important.
help us sincerely help Canadians. Our government understands the importance of supporting the most vulnerable, and that's what we've done starting in 2015, and we will continue to do that. Today,
starting in 2015. You haven't done shit since 2015.
we understand that Canada's workers need help, and we are going to help them. The Honourable Leader of the Official Opposition.
The NDP leader is giving Canadians whiplash with his latest flip-flop and the flop on the flip.
Look, Fury Kitten, he's even calling it out too.
First, he said he tore up his deal with the Liberal government. Then he said that he had taped it back together because they had signed on to his 2-month tax trick. Now he rises on his feet to say that the trick is a ripoff of seniors and persons with disabilities. So then why won't he put his actions where his words are and vote for a carbon tax election so Canadians can choose between this 2-month trick and axing the tax for good?
That's a good question. But the speaker is going to go, that doesn't have to do with the operation of government.
It will be of no surprise I'm going to ask the Honourable Member from New Westminster Burnaby, please, not to take the floor unless recognized by the Speaker.
Yes?
You weren't sent 5. You owe 20 more.
Yes, I was told not to, but I will do it.
Oh, I didn't catch that part.
The message says no jumping.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
It's specifically for wine.
Oh. Okay.
That's what Fury said.
Okay. We gotta do something with all these empties. You know, I bet you if I take every empty we have in the house back, I can get you a couple bottles.
At least one.
It'd be nice to get myself a bottle, but I don't have that much money.
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister, Honourable Member from New Westminster Burnaby, please, not to take the floor unless recognized by the Speaker. The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the only inconstant flip-flopper in this House is the leader...
Inconstant? What are we, fucking Shakespeare now? Are you fucking Lysander from A Midsummer Night's Dream?
...of the official opposition. For months, he has been talking about how Canadians need a little more support.
Yeah, a little more support meaning no more carbon tax, you dolt. Not a 2-month GST holiday and pittance from a check one time.
But it turns out that unless you recite robotically his Dr. Seuss rhymes, he's not going to agree with your approach to helping Canadians. Now is the chance for him and his MPs to actually give Canadians some real support.
This is not real support. And shame on you for thinking that it is.
The Honourable Member from Thornhill.
The streets of a major Canadian city were set on fire this weekend, and the Prime Minister was nowhere to be found. A radical, anti-Semitic, anti-Canadian mob burned cars, smashed windows, assaulted police officers, and the Prime Minister was nowhere to be found. It took him until noon the next day, and he offered the most basic platitudes resembling some standard condemnation that he's been offering after fomenting the hatred that he's now surprised about. So I have one question. When was the Prime Minister told about the riot, and why did he decide to keep dancing the night away?
That's a good question. And Melissa Lantsman has every right to ask it.
The Honourable Minister for Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, my colleague, the Minister of Defence, I think properly explained the outrage that all Canadians felt at this wanton, reckless violence on the streets of Montreal. Mr. Speaker, we condemn unequivocally the rising and concerning rates of anti-Semitism and all other hate crimes in the country. We're working with provincial
I want more
authorities,
of this last. She's a
local
piece. Oh, she's great. Melissa Landsman is awesome.
Police to combat this. And let me be very clear, Mr. Speaker, no matter what group you claim to represent or what cause you're advancing, if you're smashing windows and assaulting Canadians, you're a criminal and you'll face the full consequences of the law.
Oh, big words. Big words.
Again, I'm going to ask the member from Calgary. I'm going to ask the member from Calgary, Signal Hill, please not to take the floor unless recognized by the chair.
The honourable member for Charlebourg-Saint-Charles.
Best Jew
The
in
pictures from the
Parliament.
riots
Yep.
in Montreal have gone around the world, and it's shameful. We are reaping what the Prime Minister has sowed with his woke, divisive policies. He divided people by race, gender, religion, region, age, wealth, and so on and so forth. And as a result, we've lost control of our borders. We've let criminals come into Canada. Chaos has come in with them. Why is the Prime Minister dancing while Montreal burns?
Straight
The
up
Honourable
Nero question.
Minister of Public Safety. Mr. Speaker, I'll say again in French what I've just said in English. Our government, in every instance, condemns the acts of violence and the criminal acts that we saw on the streets of Montreal. It's completely unacceptable to put forward a political point of view by destroying Canadians' property, by committing assault, by attacking police officers. You're not demonstrating peacefully. In those cases, you are a criminal and you'll face justice. The honourable member for Charlebourg-Saint-Charles. And yet, Mr. Speaker, for this Prime Minister, it's not enough that Hamas
She also looks
representatives
like
are burning
Lilith
our
from
city
Frasier.
centres.
Oh, really?
He's opened our borders to terrorists and
That's
criminals,
funny.
and he's called anyone who's questioned his policies a racist.
Yep.
Despite
That's true. You couldn't question anything, like even with the COVID stuff. It was like, that's racist. Don't talk about that. You can't say that.
the Conservatives' demands to put the Islamic Revolutionary Guard on a list of terrorist entities, he's let them operate legally here for years, and now he's letting Hamas representatives destroy our cities. Why did the Prime Minister choose to dance when he knew that Montreal was burning?
That's a good question, and nobody's answering
The
it.
Honourable Minister of Public Safety. Mr. Speaker, the RCMP is continuing to work in close cooperation with the good work that was done by the police service in Montreal. At all times, the RCMP supports its partners, whether that be in Montreal or in other regions of the country.
Mhm.
We have criticized and we will continue to criticize the increase of anti-Semitic acts and hate speech acts in Canada, and we will remain focused on the support that we can give the forces of law and order, something that the Conservatives can't say.
Oh, fuck off. Just fuck off with that shit.
The honourable member from Durham.
Mr. Speaker, for years, these Liberals have engaged in woke virtue signaling. They have promoted a hollow and superficial understanding of morality, more concerned with appearances than doing what's right. And Canadians clearly saw the consequences of liberal ideology over the weekend in Montreal when hate-fueled attacks overtook the cities. The Prime Minister is partying while Canadian cities are suffering. So I ask, why was the Prime Minister dancing while Montreal was burning?
Is this gonna be the whole rest of question period?
The Honourable Minister of Justice and Attorney General.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the member for that question because all Canadians in this House and all Canadians around the country detest and render unacceptable what we saw in the streets of Montreal. That kind
Are
of
you
violence,
sure?
that kind of unlawful behavior.
Because why, if that's true, why is it still happening?
That kind of anti-Semitism is unacceptable and will never be countenanced. While we're talking about the fight against anti-Semitism, I will just put it to that member that we have legislation on the floor of this chamber that will
If nobody will buy my woke foods mug, then the word is dead to me, and now it's in the government record. It's just sad, isn't it?
The ban on willful promotion of anti-Semitism and accentuate the penalties, taking them from 2 to 5 years. Will the members support that bill? It's called Bill C-63. It targets online radicalization, which is the root cause of what we're seeing.
The honourable member for Durham.
This Liberal Justice Minister, just like his boss, the Prime Minister, refuses to take any responsibility for creating the conditions that led to what we saw in Montreal just a couple of days ago. It's this Liberal Justice Minister's DEI criminal justice policies that have allowed crime to go unchecked in our cities. It's this Liberal Justice Minister that won't lift a finger to do anything about the violence targeting religious communities in Canada. The Prime Minister is the problem. The Liberal Justice Minister is the problem. So I ask again, when will the Prime Minister stop dancing and address crime in our cities?
He's coming into his own, this guy from Durham.
The Honourable Minister of Justice and Attorney General.
Mr. Speaker, I reject that out of hand. What I would say on this side of the
I reject that out of hand. I don't want to answer that question.
House is that what we are doing is we are working to ease tensions in our communities. We are looking at the statistics on hate crimes. We're seeking to address them. What is the proof positive?
You're looking at the statistics on hate crimes, and you're seeking to address them. Okay.
I announced the Bill C-63 in this chamber. Who was standing by my side, Mr. Speaker? The people that were standing by my side included the Center for Jewish and Israeli Affairs. Why? Because they know you don't get a Pittsburgh Tree of Life synagogue attack unless you're radicalized online.
Oh, shut up. Of course, it's all online radicalization, right? That's what Bill C-63. Gotta curb that government. Talking back again, like gotta curb the talking bad about the government with Bill C-63.
Radicalization online is causing anti-Semitism. It is what we will combat through this bill.
His
with
head
every
looks
measure
weird.
on this side of the House.
Well, there's streamlabs.com/Pincolo. He's got his mugs. You can grab your woke foods mug.
It's the internet.
Before I give the floor to the honourable member for Belleuil-Chambly, I would like to...
Members, especially colleagues, I'd like to remind members, including the member from Durham who had asked the question, to please not take the floor, to listen to the answer that he had just asked.
Oh, shut up. If the minister's gonna say some stupid shit, then the member from Durham has a right to say something.
The honourable member for Belleuil-Chambly. Mr. Speaker, I was going to ask the Minister of Finance what went through her head when it came to giving tax breaks to people who in theory could be millionaires, or $250 checks to people who are making $150,000. But here I'm struck. Is it possible that they're taking us out on for a ride and that the government doesn't actually have the support of the NDP?
You think? You think? Oh my lord.
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, I sincerely hope that we will have the support of every member of this House. Because I know that there are things that divide us, but I think that all of us believes that we need to support the middle class across the country. So yes, I hope that the NDP will vote in favor of these measures. I also hope that the Bloc will vote in favor of them, and I hope that our colleagues from the Conservative Party will vote in favor as well.
Well, guess what? That's not gonna happen.
The Honourable Member for Belleuil-Chambly. If the minister wants the support of people who have a certain conscience for social justice, and that does exclude some people in this House, why is the discussion of our bill to help seniors that they voted in favor of been dropped, and why are they not lowering
Mr. Speaker,
the cap for those who are getting the checks to help those who really deserve it get it? You know, seniors. Why aren't they doing that? The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, we agree with the leader of the Bloc Québécois and with all members of this House who believe that we need to help the most vulnerable, who think that we need to help our seniors. We completely agree on that.
Oh, do you?
And that's why our government has added a considerable amount of money in support for our most vulnerable seniors. That's the right thing to do, and that's what we've done. The Honourable Member for Shefford. The federal government is letting retirees down, according to the FADUC. They've already denounced the Liberals' refusal to offer fair old age pensions to all seniors. And now they're furious to see them handing out $250 checks to just about anybody who's earning taxable income up to $150,000 a year, except for retirees. Not a penny for them, not even for those who depend on the guaranteed income supplement that Liberals, had promised to increase. So the Liberals promised to help less affluent retirees. How can they so ridiculously abandon them now? It's shameful.
He's not wrong. She's absolutely not wrong about that. I don't see how they can possibly be like, yes, we need to help seniors. Oh, but this isn't for them.
The Honourable Minister of Public Services and Procurement. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Two things. First of all, no federal government has ever done more for seniors than this Liberal government since 2015, and that's one of the reasons
Pat yourself on the back more.
The poverty rate for seniors has gone down by 20% since 2015. Second, if we had listened to the Conservatives, who unfortunately are often supported by the Bloc Québécois, we wouldn't have lowered the OAS threshold level to 65 years old. That would mean that there'd be 100,000 seniors in Canada, including many in Quebec, who would be in poverty right now, Mr.
Again, pat yourself on the back some more.
Speaker, if we'd listen to them.
The Honourable Member from Cumberland Colchester.
The word cacistocracy translated means government by the
Word
worst.
what?
Cumberland Colchester.
The word cacistocracy translated means government by the worst, most incompetent, or most unscrupulous citizens. I can't think of a better.
Cacistocracy? Is that what he just said?
By the worst, most.
Colchester.
The word cacistocracy translated.
Cacistocracy. Cacistocracy. Is that like poo-poo stocracy?
Means government by the worst, most incompetent, and most unscrupulous citizens. I can't think of a better description for this NDP Liberal government. There have been 27 reported cases of scurvy in Saskatchewan, and the Salvation Army has reported that over 1/4 of parents are skipping meals so their children can eat. Canadians are malnourished and suffering, and what do we get from this government? A quadrupling of the carbon tax to 61 cents a litre. When will the Prime Minister finally show some courage and call a carbon tax election?
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Mr. Speaker, it's a shame that members would speak to each other in that kind of way.
It's a shame that members would come up with a word like cacistocracy.
I believe that every member within their heart is here because they wish to serve their communities. And I take a look at Canada, which the average number of years the Canadians spend in health is 6 years longer than the United States, 2 years longer than the United Kingdom, 1 year longer than France and Italy. We have the second highest only to Japan. The model they would choose would be to push us deeper into mal health and attack our health system. Mr. Speaker, that's not a direction we will follow.
I thought it was not nice to talk about members in that way, and that all members were there to serve their community. I thought you said that was what your heart said.
The honourable member from Cumberland Colchester.
Speaker, under that Liberal minister, 7 million Canadians don't have access to primary care, and malnutrition mayhem reigns supreme. 2 million Canadians visiting food banks, 40,000 of them being Nova Scotian, and of those, 12,000 being children. And scurvy. Can it get any worse, Mr. Speaker? And how does this NDP Liberal Reunited Costly Coalition think they're going to address food bank use and scurvy? Well, of course, as I mentioned, they want to quadruple the carbon tax. I'll ask again, when will the Prime Minister let Canadians decide if they want the madness to continue, and will they call a carbon tax election?
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Mr. Speaker, their solution to food insecurity would be to take away a rebate check that they get to give them more money in their pocket.
Was that catastrophe but mispronounced? I need to look that up. I don't know.
To be able to afford the necessities of life. Their solution to food insecurity would be to cut.
Is what he said.
A school food program that makes sure that kids get the food they need. They would cut dental care. The reality is, I sat in opposition and I watched the Conservative Party when they were in government. I'll tell you, at that period of time, the amount of action they took for vulnerable people was exactly
vulnerable
zero. So now they're talking about what vulnerable people need, but they're not putting forward any solutions to actually help them.
Hear, hear.
The honourable member from Fort McMurray, Cold Lake.
After 9 years of NDP Liberals, the cost of living crisis is having a major impact on family grocery budgets. Yet the Liberal answer is to continue hiking the carbon tax, making food even more expensive. Under NDP Liberals, we're seeing the largest annual increase in child poverty on record. 1 in 4 parents are cutting back their food to feed their kids, and 1 in 5 children are now living in poverty due to the NDP Liberals government. That's nearly 1.4 million children. Enough is enough. Will the Prime Minister give Canadians a choice and call a carbon tax election?
Nope. Because you can only say think of the children if you're on the Liberals side of the fence. The closest I ever got was castrophony. Huh. Interesting. So I think he made up a word.
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, I have a great deal of respect for the MP from Fort McMurray, and that's why I'd like to ask her and all of her colleagues, who I believe sincerely do care about Canadian families.
I really do think you care. I just don't think you understand.
To join us in supporting Canadian families. And here's how they can do it. Vote for a GST rebate over the holidays. That would mean no GST on diapers, no GST on kids' clothes, no GST
Isn't there already
on that
no GST on kids' clothes?
Food, maybe rotisserie chicken that a hardworking mom wants to pick up after work to feed her kids.
That should be like all the things. Or I don't know, take the carbon tax away so that chicken goes down a half
real
the
support
price
we
that
can
it is.
all deliver in a couple of weeks.
The Honourable Member from Port Moody, Coquitlam.
Seniors and persons with disabilities are hardest hit by rising
Christmas
costs.
trees after December 14th. Christmas gifts after December 14th.
Yeah.
All of this takes precedence after December 14th.
Yeah, do you know why? When does the child tax benefit come in December?
14th. Yeah. Because then they can say, we gave you more money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me back my money that you stole in carbon tax. You know, they're sitting on $450 billion of unexplained expenditures. Where does all this money seem to be coming from?
Yeah.
It's almost like they made themselves a coffer to buy votes out of.
Costs driven by unchecked corporate greed because they live on fixed incomes and already struggle to pay for medication and groceries. Yet the Liberals excluded them from their planned $250 rebate. We know Conservatives cut supports Canadians need, and these Liberals always let people down. Will the government get real, reverse this cruel and callous decision, and ensure seniors and persons with disabilities also get the relief they need?
How about if you're gonna get people with disabilities the relief they need, make sure there's no federal clawback. That's a level 5 power dike.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Labour and Seniors.
Thank you, Speaker. This government has done
Fat
more for
Bridget
seniors than
Nielsen.
any other government. First thing that we did was roll back the retirement age from 67 to 65, taking 100,000 seniors out of poverty. We increased the GIS by $1,000, taking nearly 1 million seniors out of poverty.
Why isn't there a GIS for people with disabilities then?
We increased the OAS for the most vulnerable seniors. And yes, we are doing a tax break for all Canadians, including seniors. So I ask everyone in this House to stand up for seniors and to vote for our tax breaks.
How is the tax
for all
break for seniors if the seniors aren't working? Because it's for people who are working or people who paid their taxes.
Canadians.
Order.
Children.
The Honourable Member from Winnipeg Centre.
Mr. Speaker, the Liberals have failed to
Oh,
deliver
it's
on
the
their
angry
$10
lady.
a day childcare by allowing provinces to continue to pay childcare workers inadequate wages, causing labor shortages and long wait lists for families. A recent report by the Centre for Future Work has said that $10 a day childcare improves affordability for families and has allowed more women to return to work.
Yeah, I'm sorry. How many women are already at work? There are plenty of women that are working. What are we talking about?
What's stalling it? The Liberals won't put in place a workforce strategy. Will the government answer their calls, put in place a workforce strategy, and give childcare centres and workers the support they need?
The Honourable Minister for Families, Children and Social Development.
Mr. Speaker, since rolling out the Canada-wide early learning and childcare system, we've seen over 1 million children benefit from this affordable care.
And how many daycares have had to opt out because of the way you guys put this into place?
As this member points out, more work needs to be done to ensure that the workforce is well supported. Later this week, I'll have the opportunity to meet with all ministers responsible
Except for all the daycares closing or rejecting the $10 a day bullshit, right?
early learning and childcare at the provincial and territorial level, where we will discuss the work that's underway to make sure
Women
that early
working, they'll be
childhood
making
workers
decisions
are well
next.
compensated and well respected.
The Honourable Member for St. John's East.
Mr. Speaker, last week our government announced new measures to put more money back in the pockets of Canadians.
Again, I don't think sitting MPs of the government should be allowed to ask questions.
To help them afford the things they need and the things they want. Unfortunately, some on the other side of the aisle have the wrong impression about the measures. Like the Member of Parliament for Central Okanagan, Samilkameen, Nicola, who described it as sending people pennies. Could the
It is
minister
sending
please
people
educate
pennies.
the member opposite on what the measures actually
It's
mean?
exactly what it is.
The Honourable Minister, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, I would really like to thank my colleague for her question and her hard work for her constituents and the people of Canada. We believe that when Canadians need a helping hand, the government should be there. That's why last week we announced that we're giving Canadians across the country a tax break. That means essentials like
how
groceries,
nice of you. A tax break.
snacks, and kids' clothing and diapers will be tax-free. And working Canadians will get some cash back with the Working Canadians rebate. This will help Canadians
No one
across
seems
the
to be
country,
able to access
including
childcare.
Canadians
No.
in St. John's East and across the great province of Newfoundland and Labrador.
She does, doesn't she?
The Honourable Member from Calgary Forest Lawn.
While this unserious Prime Minister shakes it off in a vibe session, Montreal burned and the Canadian economy is crippled. I mean, this is the guy who doesn't think about monetary policy. He thinks that budgets balance themselves and that the economy has nothing to do with numbers. And now he says he'll let bankers worry about the economy. That's why Canadians are in a GDP per person decline over the last 2 years. And But that's okay, as long as his banker buddies, the elitists, the rich guys
Oh,
like Carbon
guys.
Tax Carney get paid.
This guy should not be allowed to talk. He's got no confidence. He's got nothing.
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, I would urge the member opposite to take a look at the GDP revisions from StatsCan. Those were revisions upward that showed real strength of the Canadian economy in our recovery from the COVID recession. I'd also like to urge him and everyone in this House to stop talking Canada down. Inflation
Stop
has
saying
been within
that.
the Bank of Canada's target.
Just because we're saying that things are broken doesn't mean we're talking the country down. We're saying that you guys broke it.
Interest rates have come down 4 times in a row, and we have the lowest debt and deficit in the G7. Now's the time to help Canadians a little bit, and the Conservatives can do that by voting for
The Honourable Member from Calgary Forest Lawn.
Answer clearly shows the minister's economic illiteracy. As GDP per person has gone down, that means Canadians are getting poorer. And nobody loves this Liberal NDP Prime Minister more than the U.S. He drove our jobs, our investment, our business to the U.S. and now Canada is poorer than Alabama. That's why more than 2 million Canadians are in a food bank in a single month and 1 in 4 Canadians are skipping meals. Instead of letting bankers worry about the economy, call a carbon tax election now so common sense Conservatives can fix the budget and this country.
Your seats are very different from our seats. Yeah.
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, as I say, I really urge the member opposite and all Conservatives to consult those GDP revisions, including their impact on GDP per capita. They will see we have had a strong economic recovery with inflation down and interest rates down.
Yes,
and that's
I'm
why
sure
now
that's
is the
what we'll
time to give Canadians a little bit of extra help. With a GST
Oh, a
breakup,
little bit of extra help. Is that what you think this is? A little bit of extra help?
over the holidays and a rebate for working Canadians. And that is what the Conservatives should support us in offering to Canadians. It's really astonishing to me that they refuse to do that.
The Honourable Member for Northumberland, Peterborough South.
Mr. Speaker, I will let the bankers worry about the economy. You'll forgive me if I don't think about monetary policy. The budget will balance itself. These are the actual words of the Prime Minister of Canada.
Yep.
Given his complete disinterest in managing the economy, no one should be surprised that GDP per person has declined in 8 of the last 9 quarters. Mr. Speaker, it's time for a common-sense Conservative Prime Minister who will fix the budget, fight inflation, restore the promise of Canada. When will the Prime Minister finally give Canadians a say and call a carbon tax election?
This is like sad. Ugh. No, yeah, exactly. I checked and that is in fact the true stat. You had the golden goose and you swapped it for magic beans which you fed to a pig. Revisions after she walked in and screeched at them for 3 hours. Don't talk shit if you can't speak straight, right?
The Honourable Minister for Housing, Infrastructure and Communities.
A working class Canadian voting
Sean
for these
Fraser.
Conservatives would be like a chicken voting for Colonel Sanders, Mr. Speaker. Think about it. We want to
Whoa.
would be like a chicken
and Communities.
A working class Canadian voting for these Conservatives would be like a chicken voting for Colonel Sanders, Mr. Speaker.
Holy shit. Did Sean Fraser just say that? Did Sean Fraser just say a working class Canadian voting for... He's just equating us to dumb chickens or lambs to the slaughter. Holy crap.
Think about it. We want to build an economy that works for everybody. When we raise taxes on the wealthiest 1% to cut them for 9 million Canadians in the middle class, they oppose those measures. When we stop sending childcare checks to millionaires to put more money in the pockets of 9 out of 10 Canadian families, they voted against it. Now we are proposing to cut taxes on household items that are going to help families and
For
workers
2
in this
months.
country. Yet again, they oppose it. I urge my colleague to drop the talking points, get over the stickers and caucus with whatever he's about to read, and get on with supporting households.
The honourable member from
I would
Northumberland,
vote for
Peterborough
Colonel
South.
Sanders.
I urge the member to get on with Canadians' business and call a carbon tax election. After 9 years, according to The Economist, Canada is now poorer than Alabama, the 4th poorest state in the U.S. While this Liberal government drives our economy further and further in the ditch with excessive taxation and regulation, the Canadian economy falls further and further behind while the American economy roars ahead. When will this government get out of the way and allow us to restore the promise of Canada by calling a carbon tax election?
The Honourable Minister for Housing, Infrastructure and Communities.
It is like we are playing bingo here, the number of slogans that are being read off when people can't take their
What
eyes off the sheet.
slogans? There are no
This is from an article
slogans.
recently. Conservatives talking about their own leader. Eyes off the sheet. Listen to this is from an article recently. Conservatives talking about their own leader. If you repeat the slogans, you get rewarded.
If you repeat the slogans, you get rewarded. Yeah, that's not what's that's bullshit.
Caucus for being a good cheerleader. The difference between us and them, I don't have to hold.
What a dork.
Order!
Shut up!
The Honourable Minister, start from the top this time, please. No interruptions.
No interruptions! Everybody shut up!
Mr. Speaker, the difference between the Liberals and Conservatives in question period, I don't need to have my notes in front of me to actually speak in the House.
Oh, that's a
They
bunch
are
of
being
bullshit.
rewarded in caucus when they repeat the slogans in this House, not when they defend their communities at home. The honourable member won't even admit that his community would be better off receiving money for housing. He stands up and votes against measures once and twice and 3 times to deny tax breaks to families in his community. We are going to be here to support working families. I wish for once the Conservatives would join us.
Oh, fuck off, Sean Fraser.
The honourable member for Beauport, Lee
No!
They've lost control.
Really appreciate the opportunity to talk about the vast improvement in government services that have taken place over the last year. We could start with passports. Service improvements have gone across the country, and that's despite the fact that 2 years ago we were delivering 3.4 million passports. This year we're delivering up to 5.7 million passports. You can now get 10-day passports in the territories. There's a new processing center in BC, and soon you'll be able to get passports online, so you'll never have to wait in line again.
I don't know.
The honourable member for Beauport, Limoilou. The Journal de Montréal.
Oh.
Dentist
God, this
and
person is terrible.
The honourable minister of public one election, Mike, who
one of our community,
her leader to go visit them as well.
The honourable member for Vaughan Woodbridge.
Mr. Speaker, small businesses are the backbone of our communities. They are bouncing back from tough times and gearing up to make this holiday season a success. Restaurants and small businesses in Vaughan and across Canada are counting on a busy Christmas season.
Nice tweet there. Freaking nice tweet there, honey. I like that.
A strong new year. Can the Minister of Small Business tell Canadians how our
I
government is
can't
helping small
believe
businesses?
Sean Fraser just called working class Canadians chickens voting for Colonel Sanders. Holy shit.
The Honourable Minister for Small Business.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to thank the member from Vaughan Woodbridge for his tireless advocacy. And I'm glad to say that thanks to our government, Canadians across Canada will get a GST tax break from December 14 to February 15. Restaurants Canada indicated that this is a big win for the restaurant industry. It restores some much needed hope in the industry.
I like Popeyes. Popeyes is great, except the KFC in our town is not too bad.
Optimistic it will translate to increased
Mostly
spending at
because they
local
keep it
restaurants
clean.
across the country. This could mean a boost of up to 5% or close to $1 billion in additional revenue. Mr. Speaker, this tax break helps restaurants and small businesses across the country, so let's support local, Mr. Speaker.
Let's support the local, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member for Kildonan, St. Paul.
The Winnipeg law enforcement community is reeling from a violent incident last night where an officer was stabbed in the neck. Thankfully, he's in stable condition, but this is the reality faced
But everyone's mad because he shot the guy that stabbed him.
by our brave police officers every single day. In fact, in Toronto, 637 police officers have been injured on the job just this year alone. It's no wonder with a 50% rise in violent crime, which is 200,000 additional violent crime incidents each year compared to 2015. When are the Liberals
See, I only like to get Wendy's when the Portobello mushroom milk comes out.
finally wake up and support our police and do something about this?
The Honourable Minister for Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, that's exactly what our government does. It supports police doing this dangerous and difficult work across the country. I was briefed on the incidents in Winnipeg. I share the honourable member's relief that the officer...
Relief? I share the honourable member's, relief about this recovery. You don't sound like you share the relief.
...expected to recover. Mr. Speaker, these are exactly the kind of incidents that should make all members of this House support in a nonpartisan way the important work that police forces do in every corner of the country. We've reversed Conservative cuts to border services and the RCMP. We support local and provincial police, and we'll continue to do exactly that.
The honourable member for Kildonan, St. Paul.
Mr. Speaker, the Liberal government often blames the provincial courts, for example, for the crime wave we're seeing across this country. But of course, the provincial courts are governed by the law, and the Liberals changed the law with Bill C-75, which made bail the default for violent repeat offenders. And the results are clear. 116% increase of gun crime in Canada, 50% increase of violent crime, 200,000 additional violent crime incidents each year since 2015 under their watch, Mr. Speaker. How many more people are going to have to get hurt before they realize it's their policies that have caused all this destruction?
All of the people.
The Honourable Minister of Justice and Attorney General.
Speaker, a couple of points of clarification. First of all, bail reform was asked for 18 months ago. We delivered bail reform. What we asked for subsequently is we asked for provinces, including that member's province, to provide us with data and information. In fact, the province of Manitoba has supplied us with that information.
You love
They're
the
working
Portobello
diligently
mushroom
to
milk? Yeah,
improve
it's
the number
good,
of police
Dawson.
officers, to improve the number of crowns, to think about how JPs are trained, to ensure detention facilities are available to receive individuals. We're not seeing that across the country. We're certainly not seeing that in the province of Ontario. That's where the
Oh, of course. Blame the provinces, blame the territories, blame it all on everybody but you.
administration of justice at the provincial level needs to happen.
The honourable member from Medicine Hat, Cardston Warner.
Mr. Speaker, after 9 years of this Liberal NDP government, crime is up. Soft on crime policies like their catch and release bail failures have led to a 50% increase in violent crime. Last night, a police officer in Winnipeg was stabbed in the throat, but thankfully that officer is in stable condition. However, this situation should never have happened in the first place. Liberals' hug-a-thug approach to crime is making an already dangerous job increasingly
We have a
unsafe
Popeyes now
and
in
more
the
challenging.
northeastern part
How
of
many more
England.
police officers
Oh,
and victims
just
must
one?
suffer before these Liberals start prioritizing public safety?
The Honourable Minister of Justice and Attorney
I want to
General.
reiterate my support for what the Winnipeg police officers do and what every police officer does around this country to keep all of our communities safe. That's the first point. The second point that I want to reiterate is that we're actually seeing declining numbers of law enforcement officers in municipalities right around the country. I can speak.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Of Toronto. There are currently 700 fewer officers on the beat in Toronto than there were when the Minister of Defence was the Chief of Police. We need to ensure the municipalities and provinces are stepping up to complement the work we are doing with the criminal code to keep our communities safe. That means officers, that means crowns, that means JPs and detention facilities.
So why aren't you doing any of that?
The honourable member from Newmarket, Aurora.
Mr. Speaker, the school food programs are growing in Ontario.
Oh,
shut
up.
With our new agreement with the Ontario government, the National School Food Program will now support kids in Newmarket, Aurora and across Ontario with healthy meals, building a foundation for their well-being and success. Can the Minister of Families, Children and Social Development share how this program is helping families save money and make sure that kids receive nutritious meals?
Great question. The Honourable Minister for Families, Children and Social Development.
Well, great news. Last week, Ontario signed on, and this school year,
yay! Prison food for children.
Food at school here in Ontario, thanks to the National School Food Program. This will save an average family of 4 about $800 in groceries, Mr. Speaker.
Where do you get that number? Where do you get the number of a family of 4 will save $800 in groceries a year with your lunch program? Where do you come up with that statistic?
President of Ontario's Public School Board said this funding will have tremendous impact on school communities and family budgets. We're helping kids in school, Mr. Speaker, while the Conservatives would cut this.
Yeah, you're damn right they'd cut it because it's not doing anything.
For Skeena Bulkley Valley.
Yas. Hold on. What's up? Good night. I love you. Sorry about that, guys. We're almost done this anyways.
Mr. Speaker, every day it's more clear that the Liberals' air passenger regulations are letting people down. And now we learn the Canadian Transportation Agency is creeping around online forums trying to catch air passengers who are sharing their experience. So on the one side, we've got the rich airlines backed by the best lawyers and lobbyists. And on the other side, Canadian families struggling to navigate this government's botched complaint process. Will the minister immediately stop government online surveillance of air passengers in Canada?
No shit. Why is that even a thing? Why are we surveilling?
Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Transport.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the member for the question. Mr. Speaker, our government was the first to protect the rights of passengers starting in 2019. Mr. Speaker, the air passenger protection regulations are there to
2019, huh? 4 years after you became
airlines to follow these rules. Mr. Speaker, we're going to be relentless in working with the airlines to ensure, once again, that they are looking after
off to
their
get some
passengers
groceries.
as well
Okay,
as the
I
families
am
of those passengers.
almost done this, so.
The honourable member from Kitchener Centre.
Mr. Speaker, with $4.7 billion, this government could have cut chronic homelessness across the country in half and had $1.2 billion to spare. Instead,
where are you coming up with these numbers,
at
dude?
a pre-election vote-buying scheme right out of Doug Ford's playbook. Worst of all, like always,
right out of Doug Ford's playbook. Oh yeah, because he's giving us money too. We're supposed to get $200 from him too.
And already living in poverty are left out entirely. Do people with disabilities mean so little to this government they aren't even trying to buy their votes anymore?
Yep.
The Honourable Minister for Diversity, Inclusion and People with Disabilities.
Ever since Mike got that seat, he has turned into such a little beta bitch. Like, he shaved his head. Like, he's bicked his head completely bald.
Yeah.
And now he's got, like, this big puffy goatee. He kind of looks like Simon Whistler.
Ah.
No, it's not bad. It's just kind of funny. But he just... Why did he do that?
I don't know.
I've been laughing at him a lot lately. It's funny. I was over by his office the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can smell the bitch in it. Like you can smell, like you go, something smells like pussy and not the good.
Speaker, no other government has done more to support seniors and persons with disabilities.
You haven't done anything to support persons with disabilities.
Dental care program that is going to help 9
Screw
million
you.
Canadians, or the Canada Disability Benefit, or by increasing seniors' pension, Mr. Speaker.
The Canada Disability Benefit. Ooh, a whole $200 a month. Yay! That I'm going to be forced to get. Because the province is going to be like, you have to use the disability tax credit
Tax
to get
rate
that.
is yet another measure to support Canadians' families, Mr. Speaker, and our Working Canadians rebate is going to support more than 18 million working Canadians to get that $250 check in April. This is good news, Mr. Speaker. Let's get it done.
Chers collègues,
Dear colleagues, dear children, it's time for you all to stop asking questions. Oh, what ridiculousness. That's just bullshit. That's just complete bullshit to me. I can't believe that. Holy shit, we made it, you guys. We made it through question period and everything. It's amazing. But I need to go and put my children to bed. So I'm going to do that. But I will be back in a little bit for some Mortal Kombat. So be sure you look out for that. And I will see you guys. That'll be over on Twitch. So be sure to come and check that out. Thank you so much for the donations. You guys are awesome. Thank you very, very much. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and I will be back in about an hour and a half for another one. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you then.